Hi everyone. Last video we discussed about what is a static routing, default routing and dynamic routing. The theory concept we discussed. So in this experiment we are going to explain about the static and then a default routing. So as usual, so first we need to design a topology. So I'm just selecting the 4 PCs. I'm going to construct as a 2 different network. For the switch, I'm just selecting PT switch and routers PT router. So as usual, now we need to make the connection. So generate one. So if you know the what kind of cable we need to use, you can select according to that we already discussed. Copper straight through cable and copper crossover cables, everything available. The first one, the default, it will be select the what kind of cable is this. So connecting the 2 different routers, so here I am just going to use the seriality cable. If you select this and if you click on the router, so it will ask which one you are going to connect it. So you have to select the serial/0. Okay, so otherwise if you are just selecting the as usual the normal thing, means automatically it will collect it as a serial 2/0. This, if you move your cursor here, so what is that point is connected already, serial 2/0. Here it will show fast internet 0/0. So these are the 2 points are connected. So as usual, the first step, we need to configure all the PCs. So when we are moving for the routers, so we need to assign the IP addresses for this fast internet 0/0 and then serial 0 or 2/0, and as well as we need to set the IP route. So in a static routing, so you know very well the administrator has to define all the things, right? So now, so this entire part I'm going to consider as a one network. For example, so this network I'm just considering 192.168.10.0 network. So this is the network address. So you know very well, so each and every network having the network address, and the first one, so we are just always assigning the router, that is a 10.1, means that we will just assign for the routers. That is a gateway for this entire network. So what are all the hosts are connected under this 10.0, all the host, whatever the message is sending and passing to the other network, so through that gateway only it will send, right? So this is the network address I am going to assign for this, and a second one, so this entire thing we are going to consider as another network 192.168.20.0. So obviously this point, so for the router we are going to assign for the 20.1. So remaining thing as usual, whatever the PC you are going to assign this thing. And here the one more thing, the serial connection will be there. So for this also we need to assign the IP address. So here I am just considering, so this entire part as another. Okay, so this network IP address I am just assigning as a 10.0.0.0. Okay, so then the remaining these two serial I am just assigning for the 10.0.0.1, and then this is for the 10.0.0.2. So what are all the addresses are I mentioned here? So these are all the network address. So we know very well the network address we should not assign for any host or any points. Okay, so now as usual we are going to configure the PCs. So first PC I'm just selecting. So you know very well so how to configure each and every PC, and we are just click config mode and fast Ethernet 0, and simply I'm just assigning the IP address 192.168.10.2. So why I'm not giving the 1 means, so we are using the router here. So for our convenience, always we are just specifying the 1 as a router IP address. Okay, then click corresponding subnet mask. So we need to give the gateway address. So go to settings and under the gateway 192.168.10.1. okay, so then close it. So then similar for the second PC. Okay, fine. So then the same I'm just assigning for this network. So later I will just come to the how to configure the router. Okay, so here config. So this is a 20 dot series. So 192.38.20.2. So gateway I'm going to give us a 1. Okay, fine. So now we configure all the PCs. So this is the time for configuring the router. So we know very well two different way we can able to configure. So one method is using the GUI representation, another method using the CLI. Okay, so CLI means all the things we are going to configure as commands. Okay, so I'm just implementing both the things. So either you can follow anything. So for your understanding purpose, the first router I just configure through the GUI representation, and second router I will entirely going to configure under the CLI mode. Okay, so this is not a compulsion. So which one you need to follow? Okay, so which one is convenient for you, that you can follow, but it's a better thing. So always try to give the CLI mode configuration. So then only you can able to get more knowledge about that typing the commands, how to give the commands. Okay, so first click the router, and this is a GUI representation, the config mode. So here we are going to configure this gateway address, that is a fast Ethernet 0/0. So if you just move your cursor here, you can able to see this point is fast Ethernet 0/0. So that we are going to configure now. So 0/0. So 192.168.10.1. So this is the gateway address we are given for this entire, no? So that, so click the subnet mask. So whenever you are just clicking here, so see in the below, so the router enable, configure terminal, interface, fast Ethernet 0/0, IP address, what are the IP address you are just setting. So this is the command. Okay, so these are the commands only you are going to type by your own under the CLI mode. Okay, so then you should not forget to give the port status on, we already told. So this is the equivalent for that no shutdown command. If you see here, see, no shutdown. Okay, so whatever the things we are just doing here, so by default the commands will be generated here, right? So now we configure the fast Ethernet 0/0. So then same thing, the 2/0 also we have to set the IP address, this point. This is a 2/0. So this is the another network we are going to consider, and 10.0 is the network address. So I'm just starting from 1 and 2. So click router serial 2/0, click on it. So see here the interface serial 2/0 command is enabled, and if you just click on IP address 10.0.0.1 and corresponding subnet mask, see here the IP address 10.0.1 and corresponding subnet mask will be there, and port status must be on for this, then no shutdown command will execute. Okay, so now this router configuration entirely completed. You can close this. So as of now what we did is a general configuration, but static routing means, so we already told, right? So we have to set the path. Okay, so for this, so under the configuration mode we cannot able to type the command, so you must select the CLI mode one. So under the CLI mode, so you have to give, so we already discussed about that command, IP route, and then your destination IP address. Your destination IP address is nothing but this one, that is a network address 192.168.20.0. destination network address we need to give, then corresponding subnet mask. So this is comes under the class C. So obviously 255.255.255.0 is a subnet mask. Then your next hop address. So I'm just configuring this router. So then what may be a next hop? This one. So what is the IP address we are going to assign here? So that is a next hop. So this point I'm just assigning as a 10.1, and this point I'm going to assign as a 10.2. So that IP address I need to give here. So 10.0.0.2. Okay, then press enter. That's it. So this command, it shows us a, so this router is following static routing. Okay, so then simply I'll close it. So now, so this router, the router 0 is going to work under the static routing. So then second router I'm just assign as a default routing. So how that default routing is going to work on it. Okay, so within the single experiment itself I'm just explain that also. So just close it. So now this router I'm going to assign all the configuration under the CLI mode. So how it will be, see here. So if you just click the CLI, so first this initial configuration whether you are continuing or not, so you just plus type no, then enter. Then first command is enable. So if whatever the things you did under the configure, these are all the by default it is taking. CLI mode we need to type all the command. Okay, so enable, then we need to do any configurations, so type config T or otherwise configuration terminal. So then you will get the router is comes under the configuration mode. So now I'm going to assign the IP address for the gateway, that is a fast Ethernet 0/0. So interface space fast Ethernet 0/0. Okay, then see here the router is comes under the configuration and interface mode. Now you need to type IP address. Then what is your IP address? 192.168.20.1 and corresponding subnet mask 255.255.255.0. Okay, so up to this it's not over, so you have to type no shutdown command. So that is the equivalent for marking the tick the port status on. No shutdown. Fine. So then it's the same thing. So this point, the serials 2/0, again we need to do it. So interface serial 2/0. Press enter. Then IP address. What is the IP address? We are going to assign 10.0.0.2 and corresponding subnet mask 255.0.0.0. So this IP address comes under class A. So again here also we need to give no shutdown command. Fine. So we assign the two IP address. So after completing the each and everything, so if you see in this topology, so previously all these are all the points in a red color, so not yet configured, it's me. So now everything is turned as a green, but still we are not giving the routing command for this router. So now I am going to give as a default routing for this router. So I am just typing IP route. So you know very well default route means that doesn't know about any information regarding the destination. So IP route 0.0.0.0. Then if we don't know the network address, obviously we don't know subnet mask also. So 0.0.0.0. But we must give the next hop address. So for this router, so this is the next hop. So only one option is there. So what is the IP of this point? Means 10.0.0.1. Fine. So now everything be configured. So first router we are giving us a static routing concept, and second router we are just giving us a default routing. So the configuration I am just assigning the everything for the first router using the config GI representation. For the second router all the things I configured using the CLI mode. So better you just try to practice under the CLI mode, so then only you came to familiar about the commands. In forthcoming exercises, so we are going to practice using the mostly commands only. So better try to practice under the command line interface CLI. Okay, fine. So now all the configurations was finished. So as usual we need to check the connectivity. So the two ways, right? So first sending the packets. The first one we are just getting paid, but again we can try. So it will take sometimes time. Yes, it's getting successful now. Again the same I'm just giving. It's successful. So all the pieces you can check it. First time if you are just getting the fail now, again you just try it. Sometimes it will get delay. Okay, so all the pieces I'm just checked, it's getting. So this is the one way. If you are just trying to the simulation mode, if you just click play button, so the message will reach the destination. So we are giving the different packets, right? So it's simultaneously sending. So what are all the packets we are just getting the successful message, we will get the tick mark. So what are all the packets we are just getting as a failed, we will receive the int mark, wrong message. So this is another way. And one more way, you know very well. So typing the ping messages. So click any one PC and then go to the terminal and type the ping and your destination IP address. See, the first packet we are just receiving as a successful. So like that, if we are just wait all the packets, we can get the successful message, tick mark. Okay, fine. So if you want to check the ping message, it's the same from here. Okay, from this network I can try. Go to desktop, command prompt, ping, yes. So likewise you have to check the connectivities. So I hope now you will get what is a static and then a default routing. Thank you.